Everyone always talks about the turkey and the ham at the holiday meals, but there's only one side dish that my mom knows to make for me every year, and that's potatoes gratin. However, there's a problem. Potatoes. But what if I told you there's a dish that's low-carb, keto-friendly, and actually better than potatoes gratin? Let's cook.
And so we begin with an aromatic, the bulbous allium known as garlic. He peels and smashes 4 large cloves. No need for fancy knife work, as it won't make it to the grand finale. These go into a pot. After, he adds 2 cups of heavy cream. Yes, Dennis is aware that is a very generous amount, but it helps to have a generous bovine friend. Then it's time for another aromatic, thyme. He adds a few sprigs, counts, and decides to add a few more. Some black pepper, kosher salt, and very importantly, the king's spice, nutmeg. After a generous grating of the nut, he sets the cream to heat over a very low heat. It should neither boil nor simmer, but rather simply warm and infuse the flavors and aromas of love. A quick stir, and it's on and up to the next pot. In the meantime, the hot box is set to preheat to 375 degrees American. Dennis then turns his attention to the star ingredient, turnips, because he is in fact making turnips gratin. And although his juggling skills have improved, his skills are still better served as a mime. Although these cousins of the radish look a bit crowdy, it matters not, as he's about to clean them up. Using an overly large knife, he removes the tip and tail, or the roots and stem as it pertains to plants. Then afterwards, using a peeler, he removes the purple skin by going from root to stem. He could go around the equator, but he finds that working from south to north yields faster, more efficient peeling. This is a stark difference from where we started.
Now, if you have fancy knife work, you could cut these, but I guarantee you're not going to be able to cut them thin for this many turnips. So we're going to use something that's a lot better. It's going to be consistent. Mandolin. Now, we could use this safety feature, but this thing is hot trash.
And so he looks for his preferred safety mechanism. However, he can't seem to find it.
Hey, Bruce, you still got that glove you borrowed? Oh, here it is. Why is it so windy in here?
His preferred safety tool is a cut-resistant glove. This magical glove allows him to have full control as he slices the turnips into evenly thin slices, which are an entire 2 millimeters thinner than the ones he cut with his knife, and much more consistent. Another reason to use a mandolin is it takes him approximately 30 seconds to run the entire turnip over the blade.
34 times.
34 times he sliced the turnip in 30 seconds, a feat that only a master chef might be able to contend with. He also cuts the turnip on its side as it yields a smaller slice instead of a massive circular shape, which would be awkward to work with. If at some point you encounter less than desirable looking piece, simply remove the bad section and place the good part towards the bottom of the dish. No one will know the better. Once his turnips are sliced, he sets them aside and cleans, because nuts. Dennis also makes sure to check his seasoned cream. A small taste test determines that he needs a bit more spices. If it doesn't taste like a warm hug, add more spices until it tastes like love. Next, it's time to prepare the final dish. For this, you'll require an oven-safe dish of decent size. As he struggles to unwrap the unsalted butter, he then rubs the dish down to ensure all the nooks and crannies are covered, using his finger to ensure no dry spots. Then you can begin to layer the turnip slices by slightly overlapping the previous slice, as if laying down a thatched roof. After one layer is complete, he removes the cream from the heat and lightly drizzles the sauce over each row or column, depending on your angle. Not much cream is needed, just enough for a little lubrication. Then he grates a small amount of Parmesan cheese over the slices, and it's time to move on to the next layer. He layers more turnips, drizzles more cream, and grates more Parmesan cheese. He repeats the process until he reaches the topmost layer, determined by the last of his turnip slices. The remaining cream is poured over the dish, making sure to retain the branches of thyme and cloves of garlic, but ensuring that the spices are added to the dish, as they are a nice flavor bar. Another nice helping of Parmesan cheese, and then he tops it with yet another layer, but of a different cheese. This time, Gruyere. A mild yet slightly funky cheese, Gruyere does not overshadow the dish, but instead complements it and adds beautiful color to the final result. He wipes the dish clean for a nicer presentation, and to the firebox it goes. He sets a timer for 45 minutes and consumes the garlic as it works wonderfully to deter daywalkers. Then it's time for questions from the future.
Question number 1. What's the difference between scalloped and gratin? In essence, the original difference, the only real difference, is the use of cheese in gratin. Scalloped potatoes or scalloped gratin, scalloped turnips is really just cooked in cream. There are some differences, and sometimes scallop actually uses cooked potatoes, but really it's just cheese. Can I add more cheese? Yes, you can actually add cheese between each layer. Use a mild cheddar. You don't want to overpower the flavor of the dish. But I find that just a little bit of Parmesan and the Gruyere on top is just perfect in terms of the flavor and the umami, and it just encompasses everything and doesn't overpower anything. But if you want it cheesier, do what you like. Why the large range in cooking time? The large range in cooking time comes from the fact that it depends how many turnips you use, how well your oven cooks, the type of material for your casserole dish, all sorts of stuff. So start at around 30-40 minutes, just kind of keep an eye on the top, get it nice and brown. If you pull it out and it's not tender enough to your liking or too watery, just stick it back in the oven 10 to 20 minutes, just watch it. It should be perfect. You'll know when it's there. Gratin, gratin. How do you actually say it? Depends who you ask. Even the original dish, which is potatoes gratin, has all sorts of variations. Pomme de terre dauphinoise, gratin pomme de terre, all sorts of stuff. It really just depends how you ask, and say it however you want. No, it's do you, boo. Why are you outside? Why not?
This has been Questions from the Future. Once the time is up, he checks his turnips to determine if they're at the desired brownness, which they are.
You're gonna let it cool.
The aroma is incredible. These beautiful creamy turnips... Oh, no, not fully cut. Let's try that again. These beautiful creamy turnips gratin dal are incredibly aromatic and delicious in all its layers, and tastes even better than it looks.
Just the right amount of sweetness, bite, better than potatoes gratin. Gratin, dauphinoise. It's good.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this other incredible side dish that goes amazing for holidays and anytime throughout the year. Till next time, eat well.